Several major Canadian newspapers are reporting this month the crisis that has hit Attawapiskat, Ontario, including an article by the National Post published on the 14th of February. 3 new homes have arrived in Attawapiskat, Ontario, meant to serve one family each. The problem is, in February even, that these homes cannot even be used for fear of overcrowdedness. Other space issues and other money issues reoccurring. At this rate, these 22 houses to serve a population of 2,000 will not be built in time for summer, and the citizens of Attawapiskat would have served another cold Canadian winter. It was minus 22 Celsius the other night. Attawapiskat has been in the Canadian news recently as this story broke and rebroke again. Attawapiskat has historically desired a new elementary school and teacher, basic human necessities, for the last 11 or 12 years when it was agreed by the Chrétien government. In 2007 they were denied this right. Attawapiskat, as bad as conditions exist, was deemed unworthy compared to other reserves that were in worse conditions. The story changes in May 2008 when a flood had worsened conditions. In 2009, another sewage flood destroys 8 buildings housing 90. Since then, citizens of this settlement have spent winter cold in as little as sheds and tents. Canada is a developed nation which has recently dropped in standings as the world's most livable country. Why? Because of the very real, developing world poverty that exists on our own soil, in our own native reserves. There are many problems with this issue, as it is ethically and practically conflicting in different ways. One can argue, these people must be moved off the reserves, in fact to a more livable area where our government can provide for them. C, we should respect their decisions, but continue to provide support the best we can. Perhaps when we empathize, we feel that such natives may feel so as the other Canadians and government are trying to push them, oppress and push them off the reserves. B, reserves are part of the culture. C, funding must be provided by the government to the reserves. D, funding is inadequate and should be increased. And E, in some cases, other First Nations should or should not receive funding from the government, but should leave the reserves. I could be wrong, but these are all just thoughts that come off my head. #disclaimer. Speculating off the top of my head, I could argue that more money goes from our charities to other nations rather than our own impoverished reserves, which isn't necessarily a bad thing we're donating to charity. There are many easy solutions to this problem, and clearly I don't know all of them. Maybe we can repeal the Indian Act. The terminology itself is outdated anyway, and it comes from a time of racial tension in the US and Canada. I don't know. As I wrote the script of this video, I was just hoping that I would have the time to make it, but you guys do. Because of Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and etc., we can share ideas on how to fix this. So please check out my website at realworldproblems.com or .dk, where I can link more articles, feature more videos, and hopefully generate a community involvement. And please respond to this on Twitter. Reply to @worldprobs, that's our Twitter account, with hashtag #Attawapiskat if you feel this is an issue. And our new controversial question in the video, my new tradition for each video I make, is who's to blame for Attawapiskat? Respond on Twitter, not just YouTube, because YouTube isn't enough, but it's still good. Every comment counts. Respond with hashtag blame Canada for Attawapiskat if you feel our government is responsible, or hashtag blame Attawapiskat for Attawapiskat if you think it was the council or the chief of the reserve. They're long hashtags, so I apologize for that in advance. Thanks for watching.